Sidney Crosby's future with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the swirling rumors of a potential move to the Montreal Canadiens have stirred a lot of buzz, and that's exactly where the tough part of losing comes into play. Let me take you back to a memorable night in February, during the opening game of the Four Nations face-off. The Bell Center was absolutely electric as the crowd chanted, "Crosby, Crosby," celebrating his every move during Team Canada's thrilling 4-3 overtime victory over Sweden. The admiration for Crosby was truly unforgettable. Caught up in the emotion of the moment, Crosby let a little bit of his guard down when asked about the overwhelming support from Montreal fans. He shared something personal. As someone who thrives in energetic environments like that, and having grown up a Montreal Canadiens fan, receiving an ovation like that here was incredibly special and will stay with me forever. That offhand mention of being a longtime Canadiens fan sparked curiosity, especially amid growing speculation about his future with the Penguins. When I brought up that night with Crosby during the NHL player media tour, probing whether he might have been subtly dropping hints about a possible Canadiens connection, he simply smiled and said, "I've said that a few times," but quickly clarified no secret messages were intended. Still, he acknowledges the dream many in the Montreal market are holding on to, the hope that somehow, one day they might see Crosby donning the Habs jersey. Back home in Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia, close enough to feel the Canadiens' passionate grip, he knows this aspiration runs deep. "I totally get it," Crosby affirmed. "Being a Montreal fan and coming from that area, I understand their passion. Whether it's memories from guys I've played with, or my own playoff games in Montreal, or events like the Four Nations, it all brings that connection to life. I remember my first or second year in the NHL when I attended a CCM event in Montreal around June. They were already speculating about training camp lineups for September. I thought, wow, this is something else. They're so deeply invested." He admits that speculation is tough to deal with, especially when the Penguins are struggling. "It doesn't make losing any easier," he explained, "but knowing a team like Montreal wants you, that's not the worst feeling in the world." "Could be worse," he joked. When he mentioned a team like that, he was likely nodding to Montreal's fan base. But the Canadiens' management would certainly pull out all the stops to acquire Crosby if the Penguins ever suggested he was even remotely available. Yet, the most probable scenario remains Crosby's lifelong identity with Pittsburgh. Still, each disappointing season makes the thought of a move less far-fetched, even if it's still a long shot. This growing speculation was highlighted by Crosby's longtime agent, Pat Brisson of CAA Sports, during our conversation earlier on Monday. Brisson echoed the reality of the situation, saying, "Sidney has been remarkably consistent for 20 years and had another outstanding season last year. The comparisons to Tom Brady are fitting. We all want to see Crosby in the playoffs competing for the Stanley Cup every year. When he's on a team missing out, it naturally sparks speculation. He's not getting any younger. We're here to support him. It's still early in the season, so let's see how everything unfolds. Hopefully the team turns things around and the rumors die down." Brisson emphasized, "The reason this chatter happens is because Crosby is still a phenomenal player, a true game changer. Like Brady, his impact is huge. And just like Brady's famous move from the New England Patriots to Tampa Bay, which led to a Super Bowl win, the possibility of Crosby embracing new opportunities isn't completely off the table." When pressed on whether Crosby might ever seriously consider leaving Pittsburgh, Brisson cautiously responded, "Anything's possible. It's been 3 years without playoffs. It depends on how Sid feels and how the team performs. I still firmly believe he should be playing playoff hockey every year." To be clear, Crosby himself identifies fully with the Penguins, but the question remains open. Could another tough season nudge him to reconsider? During the player media tour, reporter Matt Larkin asked Crosby about the challenge of navigating his future amid Pittsburgh's recent struggles. Crosby responded with understanding. "I get it. It's a tough topic. You'd rather be discussing who will add at the trade deadline or how we're ranking in the division. But that's the hard part about losing. People think the pain ends when the buzzer sounds after a loss, but it goes deeper. The constant roster changes, the uncertainty, the question marks. It makes me appreciate those years chasing big trades and competing every deadline even more. I didn't take it for granted then, but even more so now. He remained upbeat, explaining, "It doesn't affect my approach. I still push to win every game and be the best I can. Having young, energized teammates brings fresh competition. We have plenty of hungry players fighting for spots. I try to stay positive, learn, and feed off these moments." I also spoke with Penguins GM Kyle Dubas, who echoed Crosby's grounded outlook. As Sidney mentioned, our focus is on our younger players coming into camp and the competition for roster spots ahead. We don't control outside speculation or the desires of other teams or the media. Our goal is to return the Penguins to perennial contender status as quickly as possible. Anything distracting from that focus only slows us down. Ultimately, any decision about Crosby's future lies with Crosby and Brisson. It's not only Montreal. Crosby's close friend Nathan MacKinnon in Colorado would surely love to have him join the Avalanche too. Over the offseason, Brisson likely received plenty of subtle inquiries from teams exploring Crosby's intentions. But as Crosby approaches his 21st NHL season, his focus remains crystal clear: bringing the Penguins back to competitiveness and playoff contention. With 3 Stanley Cups and 2 Olympic gold medals already under his belt, and eyeing Olympic competition again in Milan next February, Crosby is a seasoned veteran at 38 years old who's accomplished it all. When asked by Canadian Press's Josh Clipperton what still fuels him, Crosby's answer was simple and heartfelt. "I still love this game. I'm excited to compete in this faster-paced sport. Playing opportunities like the Four Nations give me a chance to represent Canada, be around these incredible guys, learn from them personally and professionally, something we missed for a decade. All of these experiences drive me, but above all, I still love hockey and want to compete for as long as I can." And that passion is exactly what keeps Sidney Crosby's journey enthralling, no matter where the road leads next. So what do you think? Should a legend like Crosby remain loyal to Pittsburgh no matter what, or are there times when a big change could spark a new chapter? Feel free to share your thoughts. This is a debate worth having.